Good afternoon, all. This is Fari Hamzi, and it's 5:02 p.m. on the 21st of December, 2022, the Wednesday. It's the longest night of the year. Persian we call it Shabbat Yazdo. You know, the ritual that goes back 4,000 years ago. But now we're in a new world. Let's deal with this. All right. First of all, this is our last webinar of the year 2022. You go to our members page before you log in, so you don't need to log in. You see our schedule of what's upcoming, and we already moved this to January 4th to Wednesday. Problem is, I'll be middle of a move, and nobody's going to be around, and the bias is going to be typically up there. You know, the up bias between now and year end. Normally, in the normal years, that has been kept up. So that's so Santa Claus rally. But there's nothing normal these days. Thank you, Gary. Same to you, sir. Yeah, Merry Christmas to all of you. Happy New Year. May this New Year sees you with, or greets you with health and wealth and calm and calmness and peace, because these markets are treacherous. If you don't have peace, you really, it's very difficult to trade. So, hey, Mike, how are you? Welcome, sir. Hi, Mike. Welcome. And so this is our last webinar. I've already changed the date, part of recording, so that the next webinar will be in January. So I'm skipping 1 week. That's all. Okay? I've also canceled it on GoToWebinar, so it does not automatically remind you for a meeting we're not going to have. Right? Very, very quick housekeeping. We're having turbulence in our ORB, and part of it is that we have, jury is still out. I've hired a new programmer to take a look at it. It turns out he had worked with my existing programmer. So about 7 years at TradeStation, he was one of the early guys who actually wrote code for ELD interpreters. So actually some of the code we're using, all of us are, in some shape or form. Highly knowledgeable. It won't be inexpensive. I'll probably have to pay arm and leg for that. But the decision was, do I do nothing? Do I pray? Do we move on the code at the margin, given the tools we have? And the matrix is simple. You get into a situation like this, from a system engineering standpoint, you've got to say, no, I need 2 sets of new eyes on the target. And so far, from what DSP did, he got the code, he signed the NDA, looking at what he's looked at, and what feedback he's giving me. We also gave him a video of the last day when we had some issues. You could see what we're talking about. I'm getting decent feedback. I should have an update tonight or early morning. The moment I do, all members on the Elite package and the chat room package, or we have 2 of them. It's basic package and chat room, or the other trading, which is the Elite package, which itself has 2 modes, MNQ only or NQ plus MNQ. These are futures for NASDAQ. We'll be getting an update. I've been in touch. It's called transparency. I've talked to some of the largest traders we've had in detail, so they know where we are. There's nothing hidden. We have an issue. We have to deal with it. Why are we seeing this? I think it's a low volume this time of the year, high volatility. You've got Tesla as a problem. You have tax selling. You have interest rates and Fed. I put them in one category. And you've got Putin. You look at all these, there are 4 non-correlated issues. At any given time, 1 or 2 of them is playing with somebody's mind out there. Hi, Dennis. How are you, sir? I'm feeling slightly better, but also I took a stupid move of trading a little bit while I was under medication, and that's not good. So it actually mentally made me in a bad spot. But I just stopped and I said, I'll come back. Again, for those reasons, tax selling, interest rate / Fed, Tesla, which is the 7th largest component of Q. And we trade NQ, so it's all related. And I'm going to get into that a little bit. Of course, Putin. You put all these together, we're in not a good place. Volume is low, or we have an analyzer that looks at the volume in real time, and it's very helpful to pick near the tops and near the bottoms. in between doesn't know what to do, obviously, but when it goes to extreme, it becomes very active. It also showed us today, comparatively, we're running about half the bid out we normally do. So fields are a problem, and we're a victim of our own success. There's no question. How? We have second system house in Chicago trading it, and they're quite a bit. But probably between our chat room here, people who run it on their own, the two system houses in Chicago, we could be close to 100 people. Now it's a liquidity issue. We may have to cut back or put some limits on. Just because you have extra money, you can't trade more. It is just not prudent. And I'm not in a business of telling who should make profit or not. But I want to share the wealth a little bit with these people who are willing to take the risk. Right now, one or two guys gunning the system because they have a tremendous problem. We have to come up with some solution. But first, we're trying to do what we should do, which is managing it through better algorithms of the execution side. It's not the indicators. It's not the buy and sell. It's not the strategy. It's actually execution. I think I have it right now. We'll see. It's going to cost me a few bucks, but this is America. Nothing is cheap. You get what you pay for, right? Yeah, with that said, we'll be in touch in writing. You got to be a little patient with me. We've already stopped NQs, and we put people at 1 to 2 MNQ. Some people want to have exposure. Some, like my own brother, he says, I'll step back. I'll wait. Because, plus new year, new money, also earning season, I think we get better volume. Key is having volume. When you don't have volume, you got small algos chasing any order that shows up there, that pops up there. The other day we were short. We went to our target and it hit 2 contracts and bounced back up. Now, it was a limit order. I understand it. And but getting in was a market order that pushed the price down, which pushed the target down. Yeah, some of these are cascading issues. You got to go through the system engineering of it. It's not simple. But hey, it's better than B2. I can't tell you how many computers we have. I can only tell you what the minimum line of code we had was at least 4 million line of code. And V2 have had one crash only after all these years. So, my hat goes out to those on system engineering side there. And so it can be done as issue worker research. I'm not U.S. Air Force or DOD. We're trying to get it right correctly. But I'm privileged to have these two guys working together. They know each other. They trust each other. As a matter of fact, my system engineer said about the new guys that if anybody can solve this problem, then how did you get them? I said, came on a list. I made phone calls. I spent a day yesterday interviewing everybody and getting them signed NDAs first, and then getting them more details, and then making you pick one guy. You can't have too many chefs in the kitchen anyway. So that's behind us. We're moving forward. We will keep you posted. Okay. Oh, PMT. Let's go to PMT. We had a stop that we dropped. Of course, took some people out. Some people were not out. This was it. We dropped it. Had we kept this level, we would have been okay. But it went up there, so we dropped. It dropped. It hit us, barely hit us, but still. And some people got out, some didn't. But that's where we are as of last night. Today's data is not in yet, but this is what we were as of last night. Now, I'll get into timing here. I'll talk to you about the chart where we are, but that's what it goes. Now, would I be able to put another trade on? Of course, as long as I don't change my bias. So, will we see 369? Probably, but let me see what we are on this bias. If not, we're switching. Now, because of the bias, I'll say possible change of sentiment into your end. Maybe I have to do it tonight, maybe I have to do it tomorrow, but we'll see. One day doesn't make anything, but we'll see where we are. But there's a few things I want to show you and say why we're holding up. But before we get to charts, let me get to the economic calendar, as we always do. Big day tomorrow, no question. Today, though, let's go through today first. Mortgage apps. Where's my mouse? There we go. Sorry. Mortgage apps yesterday, this morning at 7. I believe it was good because we had a little rally at that time. Yeah, there we go. Or 0.9, I mean, 0.9, -1 on purchases. So 4, I'm saying that's prior, so that's slowing down, 0.9. And then refinance is picking up, yeah, because rates have come down a little bit. Maybe a reprieve there. Although, why would you want to refinance now? I think you should get lower rates later. Maybe people think if inflation is going to stay. Inflation is waning. Look at that. I put $3.17 for gas. Okay, $3. Remember what Jeff DeGraff said, the guy who wrote the first chapter of my book. He said 2 months ago, if you look at PPI, the inflation is waning. And it was on LinkedIn. I urge you to follow him on LinkedIn. Jeff DeGraff, DeGraff, I believe. If you go there, it'll roll right up on it. Hold on. Master Traders. There you go. First chapter, Jeff DeGraff. One heck of a guy, of course, is coding Crash Davis in Bull Durham, great baseball movie, about playing this game with fear and arrogance. He was trained and groomed by the great Steve Chauvin, one of my mentors, and that's why I got a chance to get him to look at me, to look at this book and participate. They've never written before. Is that guy right again? He was what's called RedMac, Renaissance Macro. You can find him on LinkedIn. You can follow him. Great call. One of the chief advisors to Soros, and they've done very, very well. As you know, Soros usually plays a role. Tiger plays value. So, but yeah, great guy. Anyhow, so he told us to watch for that, and sure enough, we have downtick on the inflation. Consumer confidence came in at 10 today, and existing home sales. Okay. Whoa. Wow. We were 100 prior, revised up to 101. Consensus was 101. Of course, this showed up today, by the way. Consensus was 101. Range, we went way above the range. Holy mackerel. Based on what? Oh, wow. Who knows how they voted? Okay. All right. Good to know. Next, existing home sales. Okay. 443 prior. Consensus 42, a little bit lower. We actually getting lower there. Okay. Month to month, -5. Oh, -7. Okay. Year over year, -35. Good. We're a little bit lower. We've got to get these prices lower, and this is it. Factor. Less activity brings it lower anyway. I'm seeing some price reductions down here too, but you can't go by Naples. Naples is not the right market. The fourth richest county in the U.S. So it's up there with Beverly Hills and Greenwich and probably Stamford, Connecticut or something. So it's not a good indicator here. Here we've done a little bit of easing, but not as much. But I see it in some of the salespeople stressed out. Real estate sales. Now, of course, a few of them trying to jump in and learn new ones coming in because other jobs have been scarce. They're trying to learn to be a broker or associate broker. I'm not sure that's the right time. I don't think this market is going to level out. Real estate was not until about next year this time, but I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. So remember, I sold my last property in 2006. Everybody laughed at me for about a year, and they were absolutely right. Peak was 2007. But, well, good. What happened in 2008 and 2009. But, listen, you get a good profit, take it, run. As John Goodfriend, head of Solly, said, we do not look at a closed trade. We look at the open trade and the next trade. Okay, tomorrow, GDP, big day. Absolutely big day. 2.9, 2.9, 2.623. Okay. First of all, I want to see revision tomorrow. So be here. If you guys are trading with me, be there at 8:30. That's the number. Like 8:15. But let's see what the prior will be adjusted to. Of course, where we land. So it's going to be a column inserted here and a column at the end. TCE, This is a big thing with most Fed guys, including Ben Bernanke. 1.7, 1.7. Wow. Okay. So they have nailed this. But okay, they look at 1.7. All right. I usually print these out and have them with me. Now, this could be a big number tomorrow. Jobless claims. I don't know if you guys been following this or not, but from what I hear, there's a chance. Hi, Bill. How are you? That this number is going to be much bigger than we think. Why? Some of the tech layoffs. It takes a little bit of time to get into the system, but that was projected. I could be wrong. It may show up the following week. I think we will have a following week, yes, right before New Year. But yeah, Thursday before, Thursday of next week. But the talk was going to be this week. 211 prior, consensus 225. There's a chance we're going to be a lot more than 230. We'll find out. This stuff I don't really pay attention. Nat gas I don't deal with. That's you want to watch this one? Talk to Stocks and Jocks, Tom Howell. Tommy, he's the smart guy. Okay, Friday again, another big day. We got durable goods. We got personal income and home sales and consumer sentiment. So back to that. Let's take a quick look here. This I watch like a hawk. This is the main economy. This is a durable. So it's not not really for consumers. This is it's durable for homes, of course, and businesses, industrial too. But really, but this is the backbone of industrial corporations to provide durable goods to both residential and commercial buildings. 1.011. Oh, there you like it. Okay. This is for no 0.7 down negative. Ooh, wow. This is bad. Ooh. We'll see what comes out. This is 8:30 Friday. X transportation 0.5. The thing about zero. Okay. I don't think they're slowing down. All right. I get it. Personal income. Again at 8:30. Remember, we got 2 at 8:30, 2 at 10. Don't try to do this as the number comes out. It's not going to be easy. Two of you are hitting this. Economy feeds everything. It's the source for Bloomberg, Market Watch, all those guys. Personal income, month to month. Wow. Holy mackerel. Definitely lower, huh, on the consensus. 1.8 of consumption. Whoa. Negative. Price, PC price index. This is what's favored of month to month is. So Uncle Ben. 0.3, 0.2, and up to 0.3, no more. 6, 5, 7. See that? Yeah. So the range is lower. All right. Core PC index, 2, right in the middle. All right. Wow, data this week. It's the 4th week. Yeah. Last figure expression. New home sales. I think that's going to be the biggest number. New home sales. On Friday, excuse me. 632, 600 consensus. That's the range. I love to see what the revision is. Got to get the revision here. Of course, the actual. These data sets or these data series, as they like to call it, are very noisy. Therefore, you have, as you know, no secret, you have revisions. Come on. All right. Now, this is U of Michigan. Okay. 59, 59, 58, 59. Okay, right. So this must have been. This should be a conference board. Hold on one second. Make sure. So one is U of Michigan, the other is conference board. Yeah, conference board. That's right. Okay. So that's the schedule for this week. And there's some other source there, so you can see the next week's schedule. I think it's market. I don't think we're going to have much data next week. That's just that. There's always got to be around. Volume's going to be thin. I suggest people not trading, but people don't listen. All right. Let's go to charts. Part 3, charts. Okay. We were in the channel -2, -3. Now we're -1, -2, and we hit 50 bar and we stop. Well, doesn't mean anything. Let's see what it is tomorrow. Right now, futures are up. Oh, that's the wrong value. Oh, no. Yeah, it's 5 o'clock. The futures not open. Okay. Well, it shows how it closed. Yeah. Okay. Sigma levels, -1, -2. Same thing here. We came back down from a fairly low reading, but a little bit of a push up because we went sideways. You take the pressure off of the Atlantic line. And we made a little V there. So is that optimal? Yes. But you know what? There's a lot of noise here. I still think we have a lot of problems. Haven't solved anything yet. Here's the problem, right there. That's one of them. Russell. Russell's still holding that -2. Remember, when we go to -3, bouncing back is normal. It's the issue is what's happening between -1, -2. And it's in that channel. Same thing with Russell. In that channel. So we never hit -3. We barely passed here, went past -2. So this would have been a possible bounce. We didn't get it though. Even it came that close. So as long as this is negative and this channel going, we're gonna have problems with the NASDAQ. As you know, it leads it. Here are your defenders. Negative, 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 negative. Prognosis, negative. Remember that term? Seinfeld, yeah, this is just the whole structure is not good. Somebody wrote to me about here, saying, right about here actually, right about here, this part. When are you gonna get long? Well, I heard that, I'm gonna hold my short. It doesn't work like that, guys. I think there was some frustration there, but market doesn't listen to me. So I just try to read the market, but for people panic, I know we were near the low, but we have so many issues that I'm going to get into Tesla. That's not going to be as easily going to go away. Let's do on Momo, short and short. We're still assisted. This very, very simple trend following without any fancy moves. It's almost like a SAR, stop and reverse system. It's short and short. So let's stay that way. We came down, we bounced off of 10 on Momo, came down, almost bounced off -2. No volume either way. The bottoms are made with a big volume, big numbers up here. Look at this. See that bottom? See these bottoms? We don't have that. So I expect trickling down, just bleeding down slowly. Best way to look at it sometimes is also the weekly data to get full weekly bar. You see that the shock waves, and there's nothing here. So I expect us to continue to go down. We did drop in VIX. I understand that. We're at 21 and 25. I read that, but it's still fairly high up there. So compared to most. If we were down there at let's say 10 or 15, 10 or 12, let's say not 15, 12, that would be a different ball game. But this was a logical move, a little bit of uptick, especially today, for this really flat rally. But I still think we're in a bear market. We're not out of it. That skew dropped because of this drop coming down. They took some of the air out of their skew. That's normal. It did not go up. I don't know if that's the refresh data or not. Let me check. Yeah, let's see. I'll put the cursor there. Yeah, that's today's data. Okay. So we're at 114 quarter. Okay. Yeah. Almost -1 sigma, -2 sigma, all-time low 109. So yeah. To me, this is no signal. There's no alert here. Interest rates. Okay. We uptick a little bit last couple of days. We've come down quite a bit, with the exception of the FF, federal funds rate, and that's just normal. So it's still semi-hawkish, and I hope they stay out of politics, and logically move out of hawkishness, not because of there's a political pressure on them. So independence of the Fed is absolutely crucial. Whether they're right or wrong, you can't have two chefs in the kitchen. You gotta leave them alone. Let them do their thing. Okay. I think last time we had Z22 there. Apologize. Here's a correction. Yes, we do publish corrections. A sign of good journalists is that you have to publish corrections. I'm doing it. I apologize for that. I noticed that. Well, we were short here and long. We're long F-23s, which is June. Why? I'm sorry, January. Why? Because, yes, this morning we settled. Friday we rolled. Actually, I rolled it first thing Monday morning. We rolled to F-23 long and short J-23. Here's how. You go there. If you're doing a spread, here it is. Long January, short April. Now, how do you know long and short? That's the algorithm. That's what I wrote. And then I modified my Sigma channels to have an indicator on the input, not a price value. So now it's showing the spread movement, okay? And as we were going down, yeah, it's going to tick up a little bit. As we dropped, it was pushing up. It's inverse move. Okay? And when you get around 1, that's the bottom. We're not there yet. And we're rising a little bit. So most likely we'll have a bump coming. What will cause it? I don't know. I don't predict the news. I don't predict it. What I try to do, as I used to say that to CNBC folks, say, hey, you find the news, you report it, go do that. My job is telling you what the market is sensing. There's going to be good or bad news, but we don't know what that is. So we can't. It's impossible. Even when it's company specific, like when I had very, very massive put calls on Microsoft, or somebody like Tom Costello would call from NASDAQ and say, you guys tell me what's going on with Microsoft. I don't know. How would I know? I don't. All I know is this put call is very, very bullish, for example. But a week later, Ashcroft removed the antitrust again. Actually, he was the one who called me back. Costello did, in the book. And he says, you were right. I said, I wasn't right or wrong. I just read the data flow. That's all. Why it's that, I don't know. You tell us, don't trade the options. So trading options, I'm going to read it. And what that reading is telling. Anyhow. Back then, things were much more naive. There weren't too many. Now there's so much algorithm sitting on those. I think data is fluid. So much like our oceans. Okay. SP2, we went down to 23, maybe less, I don't know. I remember calling it 23 in the room. Oh, 21. Went to SP2 21. Came back a little bit lower and then popped. So you see there's a rendezvous coming up down here. So we'll see. Tomorrow's the key day. To me, tomorrow's the key day, depending how this structure works. I'm not alarmed here. If they sell this, that will be good for my short. If not, I'm throwing the hat and cover it, moving forward. At least we'll go flat and deal with it in January. Don't know if we want to be in a position over there this coming week. All right. We went to 90. We came back down hard. This is Lowry's up and down volume ratio. The chart is posted on Twitter. There's a bunch of guys there. I would suggest you guys follow them. Let me tell you what's going on here for the purpose of those who are watching the video. This is Admiral Tico. He posts these, and this is his current reading at the time. This is that chart. So if you follow Admiral Tico, which is big, keep on getting more people, especially after Tesla. You'd see why he's doing that. And of course, I would also follow Norseman and Walter Deemer. These are the better guys I know out there. A straight shooter, Walter Deemer, and here we go. And if you go to his website, you'll see that the marketable book. I just got it. When the time comes to buy, you don't want to. So you got to be so sick to your stomach. That's the time to buy. So if you want everything to be hunky dory, that's not the time to buy. But anyhow, don't forget that Admiral Tico, at Admiral_Tico. Okay. There's no fee. There's nothing going on. He just posts his charts and does analysis. Here's the thing he talked about one day ago. Tesla at 133. Now, why that? Let's go to see what Admiral knows that we don't know. I bet you it was a lot. Well, no, before we go there, one more stop. Lowry's. Short. No. Yes, short. 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 All four are on the short basis. So technically, we're still in a fair market rally. Very sharp, but if he doesn't follow through tomorrow, we're heading back down as a possibility. Next 2 days will sell. If the data comes too good, they'll sell into the weekend. I'm not sure anybody wants to be long this weekend. You saw what happened on Friday. That's right. Okay. Okay. Swing. This is a chart I'm watching throughout the day. Why? Well, we're below 2 sigma events on monthly. This is the second largest move down for Tesla. Big one was this, which was a month. No, 2 bars after it made all-time. No, 2 bars after it made all-time high. That was the biggest bar. It was outside bar. You slipped down. So it says the bias is to the downside. For example, there's an outside bar. No, this one's outside bar to the upside. Okay. So that's one. 2, we broke 200 weekly. We're way below the death cross, the 50 and 200 daily. We're sliding down -2. Let me blow this up for you. So we're sliding down -2. There's no end here. What's the problem? 133. Why is that? 400 pre-split was his call on his loss, hypothecation of his stock. The banks have a right to sell at 400. Okay. At that point, the stock that's pledged could be used to become an on-demand note because the note becomes non-performing. And that's what they filed. This is part of FDIC. These banks are regulated, so unless he borrowed from Deutsche Bank / Putin Bank in Switzerland, they got to follow. So there could be a pressure on it. We're $4 away. 400 divided by 3, remember, everything splits down at 133. The low today was 135. He came within $2 of it, $2.50 of it. That spiral could be devastating. Why? Go to Qs. Let's go to Qs and say, I want QQQ components. Okay. Remember, these are quantitative analysis. You've got to do this. Out there we go. I want to go bar chart. No. Stock analysis. No. I want to go. Okay, let's go there. That's on you. Oh no, come on. Hold on. I don't want to. Biggest holding. Tesla. 2, 1, 2, or they went up because they went up. Interesting. Microsoft. I don't know what they went. Should be each night. Nasdaq.com shows every night. I don't know when was a recast. Okay. But you have Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, 2 classes of Alphabet, Facebook, and Tesla. Okay. It was at 3.7, 3.9, I don't know. It should be a little bit higher. But still, that's a chunk. I saw today I'm on 7%. But anyhow, you got, I mean, I usually go to the Qs. Qs component. That's not NASDAQ. Hold on. Maybe some of the invest get. Sorry. They're trying to get your clicks. Yeah. But go to NASDAQ.com and have that. You see that. Let me just go there myself. No, I'm curious about it. No, it's not. Okay. No. QV. No. There you go. NASDAQ. Invesco Trust. Okay. Okay. Now I want components. Where's my components? Used to get. Okay. Top 10 components. So, 3.2%. Okay. I'm assuming this is updated. They usually used to do daily. That's one, what do you call it? Market cap index that's updated daily. And then Microsoft is right. It should be BlackBerry and Apple. This is correct, this part. So this should be correct. So it's about 3.26 for Tesla. And there are 2 Google classes. That's correct too. The C and the A, yeah, this is correct. So that's where we are. That could be created artificial pressure on the NASDAQ 100. Of course, thank you. So keep that in mind. Now, Admiral talked about it. There's Admiral Tico. He talked about it actually in May, saying, based on free cash flow, we're talking about here, in this area. Okay. In this area. Based on free cash flow, I saw what the low was. The low was 207, yeah, over 200. Free cash flow of Twitter, the actual cash inflow was 52 million. They report 600 and stuff. The difference was stock price. Those are not, the difference is non-cash item. You can't pay your interest expense with a non-cash item. You need cash to pay. He was planning back in May, using interest rates in May, which Admiral Tico used to write his write-up, of borrowing up to 13 billion. His interest payment would be 390 per year, per annum. So it comes to, if you do the math, you take 390 and divide by 12. There's 32 million a month. Well, if you have 52 million in free cash flow, which he doesn't now because advertisers cancel, divide by 32, it's 1.6 months. He's going to be upside down. On top of that, the advertisers have quit, and he's gone a little cuckoo. Some people are now canceling Tesla orders, which is a wrong way of doing things. If you pick an item based on who the CEO of the company is, we'll all be in trouble. Okay, but in this case, at least they're saying that. I don't know. He's not paying rent, and he's stopped payment of vendors. So if you do the math, and that's what he's looking for, also CEO, the vote was given. The vote was, I didn't vote, but I looked at it, I said, are you kidding me? Pope Catholic? Of course. They don't want him. And so, depends on how much of a loose hand he will give to the CEO, or is it just a figurehead? But my point is, look at the levels. Next stuff is 118, then 100. Remember, these will move as you get closer to it. They're not going to sit here. So it could be 115 and 100 there. If you look at the weekly, you could get sick. 74. I mean, if this doesn't come back, reacquire the 200 bar weekly, that's one of the signals. These things rotate, they rotate fast. If they don't, there's more going downward. And look in the channel. It's in the channel. -1, -2. So look at the charts, do a little math, listen to Admiral Tico, drink a little bit of tea, read a little bit Rumi, and you're there. Right, Dennis? Dennis is one of those. Dennis knows Admiral Tico. Dennis good drinking tea and reading lots of Rumi. So, you know. Okay, let me go to the last chart. I mean, you know, these stuff come at a different angle. Sometimes none of it makes sense, but actually there's a moment of clarity. If you take time, step away and say, let me research somewhere else. Let me see if there's any correlation data here or not. And I'm not in Tesla. I'm not short. I'm not long. I'm not trying to push it down. I'm trying to look at a component that could have a fairly large impact on what I'm doing. There was Apple. I'm also looking at Apple very carefully because of what I need to know that. If it breaks the support, I gotta know that. A lot of times during the day, I swear I'm doing this. Hold on. Here's the swing time. I'm typing AAP. Yeah, well, tell me what that looks like. And this is not good either. This is not good either. Of course, we went up a little bit today. This is a very, very large, the second component of NASDAQ. Here's Microsoft. That should have gone up to about 1.1. Yeah, always look at your moves in percentages. 2.47. Yeah. So, but the problem is going to be Tesla because he's borrowed so much. In order to not pay taxes, he borrowed against the stock. There was no minimum tax rate, and it was called hypothecation. but there's a loan covenant there, you know. You just can't give the stock to a bank and walk away. At some point, before it's too late, they will manage to sell some, and maybe he paid some interest that was in arrears for the stock sale last week. To avoid that, we don't know that. We'll find out from filings. And remember, there's a delay in filing. But something is up with that. It's not good. And at 1:33, we got a little fireworks. So be aware of that. All right, let's go to our last chart. I don't mean to rush you guys, but I know you guys got to go shopping and help GDP numbers on Friday. Or tomorrow. Is it tomorrow? Okay. Yeah, you want to help the GDP numbers tomorrow, but hold on. We rallied. We got past 55, got to 60, 65 area. Couple of resistance. We pulled back, and now we bounced up. Pretty good, decent separation there, but it's getting tighter. A little bit. So if this doesn't clear up, we're not going down. If that differential between 20 and 50 doesn't open up and it starts tightening, we're going down, not up. So this is a little early warning. Okay, you can get it from stockcharts.com, and this is the symbol. Okay, $sign Sierra Papa X-ray Alpha 200 Romeo. That also set up here 2050 instead. I suggest you look at 5 years. When you get started, go back in time. You can get an overview. You can see what's going on. You get a sense for the key areas. It doesn't mean it has to repeat itself, but at least you know where some buyers come in. Okay. This is again percentage of stocks over 200 days. With that said, I'm done here. And come fly with me. These are my babies. Yeah. Actually, this is a C model. That's I can't tell is the E or F. This is C. That's probably the E model. Single seater. This is a single seater. If it goes 2, it would be D model. Did not work on any of them. I worked with predecessors of this. First 2 and 4, the first squadrons. Had a great time. A lot of sleepless nights. Some nights I slept there on the car. Yeah. That's how the defense of this country is put together. Anything less, you have no idea what you're talking about. Any questions for me? Again, I wish you all happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and Happy New Year, and may the next year to be a better year than this year for all of us. I had a great time. I had an absolutely great time. A lot of stress, but you take that out of me, Dennis knows. I'll be bored. So, but I learned a lot too. I've really learned. The last 2 years, what I learned in easy language is equivalent to what I knew all years before. Because a couple of really key guys mentored me, and we worked together, and I learned a lot. Here we are. Any questions for me? Again, no webinar next week. Okay, no PMT webinar next week. And the schedule, as always, is posted right here on our website. You can hit members. No need to log in. It tells you what's coming up. Marshall Steele is online for 24th of January. That's a Tuesday, not a Wednesday. Our next meeting, the weekly meeting, is on January 4th. No meeting next week. All right? This concludes our last webinar of the year. I wish you all the very, very best. I will do that, Mr. Farmley. I'm going to do that. There's no other option. They give you a matrix, right? This is your matrix. And a couple of those boxes are not good. It's like lose-lose. I'm not doing that. We'll go forward. One thing I would say, for the record, long live Tiger Shark. The code is incredible. But it's not a system. And I probably will never make it into a system. After what I've learned about the strategy automation issues, so I'm going to keep it as an indicator. Maybe I'll add this what we're going to add to ORB and make it like that. But right now, very pleased with it. Good night, all. We'll see you next year. Thank you. This will be posted right here. You see videos will go there, which is our YouTube channel. Last one had a huge hit. Appreciate that, guys. Keep it up. Thank you.